Let's talk about the not-so-surprising news of the resignation of New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern.
New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern made headlines around the world today with a surprise announcement of her resignation.
While it may have been a surprise for some at the ABC, Ardern had been denying media reports as early as October last year that she would stand down because her popularity with the New Zealand people was dismal. Journalists had reported that Ardern was trailing in the polls, but Ardern was all smiles when asked about it in this interview with AM in October.
It's got New Zealand first on 6.75%, past that 5% threshold. Labour 31.37, National 28.32. This would put Winston Peters again in the kingmaker position. What do you make of that?
Oh, look, we're going to have a whole lot more polls in the next, in the next 12 months out till the next election. I've always been consistent. I never read too much into any of them, and I think it's far too early for us to be making predictions.
And later in that same interview, the journalist asked Ardern directly if she would stand down, knowing she would likely lose the next election.
Will you still be the leader of the Labour Party?
I've heard this rumour has floated around my entire 5 years in government. I have no plans to change my role as leader. I'm not going anywhere. I've said this on the show a number of times. Rumours circulate, and it's just part of the nature of the role. But this is not the first time I've had this one, and it did come up last election as well. I am the Labour leader, and I have no plans on changing that.
Now, you would think that after Ardern lied to the New Zealand people for so many months, the press pack would be scathing at the resignation press conference. Not so. Now, there were a few tough questions about what this late resignation would do to her party, but a lot of them were nauseatingly soft.
How would you like New Zealanders to remove you as Prime Minister?
As someone who always tried to be kind.
Incredible stuff. Ardern oversaw one of the toughest and most draconian COVID-19 response out of any Western government. The country endured incredibly onerous restrictions, and she has left the country with an inflation rate at nearly a 32-year high. Ardern may want her legacy to be one of kindness and compassion, but for many it will be marred with her divisive and hardline policies during the pandemic. To perpetrate that leadership style, but then to refuse to be judged by your own people at an election, is nothing short of cowardice.